So, yeah, let's get into some things. I literally just got a few friends in here, so this is always fun. We just get to chill. So that first joint to start the day off was FYA Fuck Yeah Ambition from my guy Chris Oric. Yes, I know, Ryan. I have to actually search that out. Don't let me forget. So that's off my guy Chris Oric album Instinctive Drowning. There we go. One of my favorite records. Super slept on, but I digress. So I think Right Out, you're the new one here. So basically, we're just gonna jump into things before I get into some of the workshop stuff. Some family stuff real quick. Getting admitted into UCSD. I posted it up today, and that's the big announcement for the day. And getting a scholarship that's paying for the lion's share of my tuition for the next 2 years is pretty awesome. So pretty excited about that. I was telling Ryan my big social media fumble was posting my admissions letter on social media and super excited, getting great response and everything. And then my wife is, thank you. My wife is like strolling through Instagram and she's like, I just hear her in the background like, why did you post our address on Instagram? And I was like, why? What are you talking about? Post our address. And then I realized I'd never edited out our address, so I pretty much just Instagrammed my family's address live. So I had to take the post down. What's up, Devin? So I had to take the post down, which sucked. I was trying to explain to my dad it was kind of a bummer. I'm like, man, it's like getting ready to tell everybody this exciting news, and then you have to say, and then everyone's liking and commenting and conversing about it, and then out of nowhere you have to be like, never mind, just forget I said anything. It's still true, but it's like if a dude walks in on a surprise birthday party and you mess up the surprise and you ask him like, hey, can you walk back out in the hallway and come back in again? It doesn't quite have the same effect. But I did edit the Facebook one. Yeah, of course. Instagram, however, does not allow you to do that. You can't edit an Instagram picture. You can't just delete it. You delete the whole post. You delete all the conversations, all the likes, everything. And that's what I'm saying. It's like posting it again from brand new is like kind of telling a dude like, hey, we messed up your surprise birthday party. Walk back outside, come back in again. Let's try it out. It just misses the mystique, So, but that is small bits in the grand scheme. I know Sean hates Instagram, man, because Instagram has made his life a living hell. Like, for some reason, Instagram hates his phone. His phone hates Instagram. Can't do anything. Oh shit. Yeah, right. That's got to be tough, man, because you are super consistent on Instagram. So you're one of the dudes I be paying attention to. Oh shoot, what's up, man? So I got Tyler in the building. So man, let's get into it. Well, also this week I had my birthday. It's been a really awesome birthday week with the UCSD thing, scholarship birthday. So kicking it with family, friends by way of online and phone, but staying active. Before I get into the workshop stuff, I wanted to toss this out there, and I'm gonna turn this music down a little bit, just a little bit more, because in my headphones it's almost distracting. So that's what happens when you're hosting. You're the sound man, you're the DJ, you're doing everything. So here's how this goes pretty much. I'm gonna get into this little topic here. We're gonna dive into a workshop topic today. Thank you. Today's workshop topic is some hidden revenue streams for songwriters and vocalists that don't require you to be in front of people or 6 feet, beyond 6 feet in front of people. So you should be able to do this from a home studio or from your phone or from your home period. So stay tuned for that. After that, I got some exclusive joints and some beats that I will be playing. I promised some heavy features on social media. I got a joint that I forgot existed, featuring myself, my guy Illogic, and Crooked. Sean, you might remember this record, and my guy Reggie B on the hook. So stay tuned, because it's a pretty dope joint, actually. But we got some more coming up as well. So first off, I wanted to touch on this, man. I subscribed to this guy, Chase Jarvis, via email. And he's a photographer, kind of graphic designer, photographer. He does work with like MailChimp, helping people, build better emails and stuff like that. If you're an independent entrepreneur, independent artist, I actually recommend messing with this guy. Follow him. I don't even think he's really on social media like that, but just Google him, try and sign up for his email. He's just a really heartfelt, thoughtful, good dude. I don't know. I think he's really intelligent. He's really big into small business. And, kind of being content with who you are as a small business owner or an artist business owner, not trying to scale up and, run this huge monolith company. So I mess with him. But he sends out these weekly emails, and he sent this one out recently called Ins and Outs. And I'm not going to go super deep into it because I try and run a pretty tight ship on these episodes. But needless to say, I shared this in my stories a few days ago. I just thought it was apropos. What's up, man? Hey, you. But, a lot of us are in quarantine right now. A lot of us are inside. We're creating music, creating art. We're live streaming. We're doing, everything we should be doing, wearing masks when we head out, go to the grocery store, whatever, and that's all cool. And it's easy to kind of complain when, we're getting cabin fever and we want to get out and we're stuck. But obviously we're the ins, we're in, and then there are outs that are out. Those are the folks who got to go deliver food or choose to go deliver food, who are at the grocery stores, the banks, health workers, obviously, more than anybody. But even essential workers at like the AutoZone down the street when our car battery died, like they're out there every day. And it really occurred to me how quickly the paradigm shifted from a class system level, before COVID, before coronavirus, I would have, especially by California standards, my income is poverty level. I would be considered lower class on the economic caste system. But this kind of interesting shift happened where it's ins and outs now. And all of a sudden, some of us who are used to kind of being more on the bottom side of, a lower middle upper class system are kind of in a middle to upper class level as far as our health is concerned, our freedom to live and protect our families. And it's really easy to forget that for every good that we receive, that we order at home, someone is out there delivering it to us. And I'm not on a soapbox for this, but I just really want to give a shout out. Reading his article kind of really reiterated the point, like, man, I'm in a really blessed position, and chances are a lot of y'all, this is the iRig Devin, chances are a lot of y'all are in this blessed position as well. So it's just that moment to think about, if you got that extra $20 that you were going to cop something for your studio, maybe, cop a couple pizzas and have them delivered to the local, pain unit or nursing home or, just somewhere where someone could need it. So it's just a thought I wanted to toss out there. I'm trying to kind of do the same and be better at that myself and just be very aware of the blessings that we're all getting. So that's my little church speech for the moment. I just wanted to toss it out there because it affected my week. But let's go. Let's get into some things. So Idiot's Guide Workshop. That's what we've been doing for the past few weeks here, trying to break down exactly what it means to be, to be an independent artist or an entrepreneurial artist, to try and set yourself up, especially in a time like this where you have the time, the energy, hopefully a stimulus check, where you might be able to, LLC a company, open up a bank account, set up your website, set up your publishing, set up all the things that you might need to really get your ownership under control. Start establishing, last week we talked about passive forms of income versus active forms of income, and you get this chance now to really get those passive forms of income set up. So that's all well and good, but if you don't know what the income is or how to get it, it really doesn't mean much. So I wanted to go into greater depth on how you might be able to, extract some revenue from what you already do, assuming that you're an artist, a writer, a producer, an engineer, whatever. And the way that, and again, I discussed this a little bit last week, but the way that we went through this was talking about the anatomy of an album campaign. Since an album is still kind of like the benchmark for our type of art, it's not just a single or a song, it's a full collection, a full work. And that's kind of the magnum opus, that's the highest platform. It's like a movie being seen in cinema, in a movie theater. It's the highest level that art can reach, given our current constructs. So with that said, brief overview, because I touched on this last week. Anatomy of an album campaign goes kind of in this order to me, all right? And usually I'd have my little PowerPoint over here, but we not fancy on Instagram, so here goes. So first off, you have songwriting. So, an album starts with the writing of the song, both in lyric and in melody. From songwriting, you go into producing. We got a lot of producers in here, so you're kind of second in that stage. Once the song is written, the melody's written, whatever, you produce the music around it. From there, engineering is, once the music's created, it needs to be recorded, it needs to be mixed, it needs to be mastered, right? So you're kind of following the chain here. Once it's engineered, you kind of have an album. You have the sonic elements of a record, but in this day and age, you need more than that. So you get into visuals. That's graphics, that's logos, that's album art, that's pictures, that's videos, any content visually. So from there, you have your audio, your visual set, release preparation. So that involves budgeting money for the expenses, building a thorough release schedule, creating a marketing with additional assets, whatever they might be, merch, anything that supports the release. So you release the record, then you have post-release, right? Post-release includes typically performances, merchandising, tours, other things like that. Granted, this part is a little iffy right now, but there's some ways around it that people are working out. After you've done this a few times, you've amassed a discography, right? And you have a career, a legacy, right? A legacy act, as they call it, no matter how big, no matter how small. So there are ways to kind of increase your passive and your active income once you hit that stage. We're not touching on that stuff today. It gets a little bit, down the road. And then lastly, and this is kind of what I'm feeling myself as an artist who's been doing this for a while, education and new skill learning, which is, there are these revenue streams that are hiding in places that you might not suspect. And especially as it relates to like learning new skills within your craft or crafts next to your craft. Myself, like I'm learning piano, I'm back in school full time, obviously the UCSD thing. And down the road, I'll kind of share some of my personal experiences in that. And the prerequisite to all this before we start getting into streams is this. None of these following side careers will mean anything if your shit is whack. So I'm assuming, hey, what's up, Trace? I'm assuming everyone in here is putting in 10,000 hours just to put it in. You know what I mean? Like, you care about your craft and the quality of what you do. And that is the bar that's set minimum, right, before any of these things can work. So there we go. So we're going to pop into songwriting and vocal recording. And that's what we're going to knock out today. So, what's up, bro? Yeah, man. Songwriting. This is for the MCs in the building, the singers, the vocalists, just the songwriters themselves. So first form of passive or active income, and this is kind of a passive and active, is a pretty obvious one, is writing for other artists. So I don't have a ton of experience. So, man, I don't have a ton of experience. It's all good, man. No worries. We'll be back. But I don't have a ton of experience in songwriting, like for other artists. That's not my field, but a ton of people do. So I don't have a ton of info specific to that. However, I'd recommend, I've a few of us might have been in here. No, I thought it was Bob. It's all good. A few of us on here, have probably been to like BMI or ASCAP expos. Those are actually some really strong places to build with other songwriters because they're songwriter organizations, right? So that's a resource that I would at least check out as it comes to that. So that's, your first broad-based potential way to generate passive kind of / active income. Another one that folks know about, and this gets dicey in the local scene, is charging for features and collaborations. And that's specifically for rappers or vocalists who can sing a great hook, your ability, and there's a lesson in this one, your ability to negotiate your demand and worth for, your art, for who you are as an artist, is based on how you present and carry yourself, right? I remember coming up in the local scene when I was young in Cincinnati and Columbus and Dayton, and you were considered bougie if you charged for your features. I still have trouble charging for features to certain directions, but my attitude is this, we all start out sucking, in in the local music scene is like a school, right? We all go to school together. We all start out kind of sucking together. All of us take it as serious at the beginning. We're all kind of at an equal playing field of how serious and dedicated we are. But so we're all just down to make music. We got nothing but time, Yeah, Bruce like, I'm just done with them. See, it's like you could tell the OGs who are in here because they're like, yeah, no worries, I'm past it. But I figure for the folks who are younger, kind of a helpful way to navigate is this. You do these joints for free all the time, and you get a lot of pushback. What up, Ty? You sometimes get a lot of pushback from people when you say like you charge for a verse or you charge for a hook. They're like, well, do it for the culture. And it happened to me like 2-3 months ago. I got hit with somebody who wanted me to do a song and got mad because I wouldn't do it for free. And I'm 38 years old now after the birthday. I've been in this game for a while, and I still have people expecting me to, do things for free who don't know me. I'm not talking about friends and fam. So when you're younger and you're coming up, I get that it can be intimidating when people expect you to write a verse and feature for free or for the exposure or for the culture. Yeah, the homeless culture. Exactly. Now, I do think in the beginning it is good to do some things for free and, cut your teeth or whatever, pay your dues, as they would say. However, same with photos. And I think it's the same all across the board, honestly. But like, there hits this point where you have to recognize your worth within yourself, and no one's going to tell you but you. Well, honestly, people will tell you if you listen to them. They might not tell you exactly what you're worth, but if you listen to the demand that that is being requested from your skill, you are being told what your worth is. And I think a lot of us don't listen to that. We're happy just to get the look, just to get the feature. And if we want to pay bills down the road, at some point you go into them hip hop clubs, you gonna meet a lady or a guy, and you're gonna end up starting a little hip hop family with your hip hop baby. And when you get to that point, you're gonna feel really, really weird giving away free verses, and you're not gonna want to. And that's kind of the make or break point. A lot of folks move into other directions. They get jobs or go to school and do other things, and that's totally awesome. But there are a few of us who really, this is just what we love to do. When all of us started at 18, all posse'd up, running in clubs, performing, literally. And I think Ill is in here. I know Super Duty, they were talking about this a couple weeks, or maybe last week. Like the crew ends up slowly falling away until it's down to like the 2 serious people when you get to be our age. And you only get to make it to this age by deciding at some point you have worth and you're going to charge realistically, and being okay with someone thinking this my guy over here is bougie, or what, you think you too good for us, you think you too good for the culture. You just kind of got to know. So a little soapbox thing on that, but I had to get that one out there because I think that's something that it's just really hard to navigate, and I could talk more and more on that, but in the interest of time, we'll keep it moving. Obviously, creating songs to release, perform, sell, and stream. It's, again, an obvious one, especially right now while everybody is at home at the same time. I don't even know if streaming numbers are shown to be dramatically higher, but, take advantage of people's attention. People are, it's a media platform, music right now, that people are, with less options of going outside, there's not much to do but be inside. So now's a great time to release some records, man. Songwriting, vocal recording. Okay. Next one is an active one. Pivot writing to other platforms. And this is a great time, at the culture where the bag at. This is a great time to get into this. Pivot writing to other platforms. So the best example I can give is I used to write for City Beat magazine in Cincinnati. Blessings and prayers to City Beat. 'Cause I'm really, really hoping they're going to be able to survive and stay open. So shout outs to them. I love City Beat so much. They really were responsible for me even going to Cincinnati. But anyway, I was going on tour back in, I was going on tour back in 2008. I went to Europe, and City Beat invited me to blog about it for the paper, right? I was already blogging on MySpace because this is that era, about, a lot of my shows and tours and things like that. So they're like, hey, would you like to publish the blogs of your Europe trip for the paper? I'm like, yeah, that'd be awesome. came back after the tour, kind of at a crossroads musically, trying to figure out what I should be doing. And I figured, hey, great time. I started writing monthly columns for the paper that weren't too unlike, they were kind of the embryonic version of my workshops now. They were just posts about being an indie artist and navigating the local scene and things like that. And I gotta find them. They're somewhere in an archive in my computer. But regardless, even when, leaving Cincinnati, writing for the paper kept my presence and my identity in the city. And maybe even enhanced it more than me being in the city. Yeah. The Unseen, it was called. The Hip Hop Unseen. And it was a subtle shout to my guy Unseen from the Animal Crackers, who had passed away a couple years prior. But if you Google it, SCENE, you'll probably, in City Beat, Poetic, Unseen City Beat, you'll probably see a few of them pop up. But I say that to say, I was able to, twist what I did as an MC, writing words for songs, and also expand that to writing columns for City Beat. And to this day, I still write blogs. I still write regularly. It's affected my ability on social media to kind of write, hopefully, a little more articulately and convey stories. So look for those opportunities, man. If you don't feel like recording, if you don't have your home studio set up right, just write and put the writing out. You never know what could flower from that. So that is a potential avenue, revenue stream there. As I just mentioned, social media stories and tweets. So again, if you can tell a story in a song, you can probably tell a story in a post. And we know a lot of artists really struggle with that. A lot of people struggle with that. A lot of businesses struggle with that. That is something you may be able to offer. My guy Rideout on here is an Instagram connoisseur. Like, this is a dude I've been, wanting to hire in. Like, hey, man, I might need you just for consulting on social media because I love how you navigate this. And it's something to think about. If you see some friends trying to start businesses who are having trouble conveying their story on social media, and you've run those courses and you have the added benefit of being a songwriter or a writer, period. Something to think about. And that's what I would imagine is highly in demand. Might not be a ton of money, but charge like $5 for posts. And yeah, I mean, we all learning, but some of us right out are a little more ahead than others. That would be you. Yeah, I'm just messing with you. But anyway, something to think about there. And that, to me, that's a big one. One I would toss out there really, really quick. Screenwriter, man. Since we're in an audio-visual field or industry right now, where a lot of the industry is blending together, are we creating visuals for our music, or are we creating soundtracks for other people's visuals? It's just so intertwined right now. Something to think about if you're already shooting videos and mapping your own videos out is screenwriting. I've actually, I took a screenwriting class in school and drafted up a short film that I had been sitting on for a little while in my head at a professional screenwriting, official level. So I know that when it's, time for that project to come out, I have it fully developed. And to be willing to take those extra steps, if that was something I was super passionate about, I might offer that service to other artists who are looking to get better stories told in their music videos. And it might be something for y'all to think about. So, screenwriter. Shout out to my guy, real quick, Blitz the Ambassador, who started out at Kent State University. We met at Scribble Jam decades ago, officially, 15, 16 years ago, because we all old. And he stayed putting out amazing records. He's from Ghana, lived in Brooklyn. Really inspirational dude to me. Google him. But most recently put out started directing his own videos, turning them into short films. They looked beautiful. Got to the point where he built his own production company and created this film, Burial of Kojo, which won tons of international awards. One of the best reviewed indie films of 2019. Is on Netflix right now, shameless plug, and is now one of Ava DuVernay's go-to directors for all the shows that she has on her platform. So you never know where that type of stuff can lead you and how passionate, if you're passionate enough. So screenwriting. Got a few more here. Copywriter. It doesn't mean you have to copyright people's material. Copywriting is, so if you're in a crew with other aspiring artists, you might find that one of you is best at writing bios, social media announcements, press releases for your group, and that's a skill. That's what copywriting is. That's a skill you might be able to leverage up the way for not just other artists, but even other companies. they're local companies and small businesses that have a lot of trouble getting their brand across, as much as I hate that term, but it's true. So voiceover work, you don't even have to be a songwriter for this, but if you are a recording vocalist, if you've recorded a lot, you find that you're more comfortable with your voice than most, and you might be able to find local professional studios, granted maybe not right now, but even if you can do it at home, professional studios, like as a voiceover talent, like local radio jingles, things like that. I have been told many times since my podcast interview, the Super Duty interview back in July, to the commercials I do for my IG live stream here, that I have a good voice for ASMR. So when I talk low like this, and you can kind of hear like all the very specifics of my voice and every little thing that's happening with my mouth, that apparently I could actually run up numbers on YouTube just doing that. So it might be a thing I do one day if money start drying up. I just got to figure out something really entertaining to read for an hour in ASMR. But something to think about for anybody else who got them smooth hip-hop vocals. Not far from that, vocal library for sample-based producers. So, a lot of folks out here are creating drum breaks for producers to sample, creating guitar riffs. My guy Bob, just random little melodies, ideas for producers to get a hold of, so they don't have to actually clear, samples from real records with like major labels behind them and get sued and such. So vocalists, chance to do that as well, especially if you can for real sing and you can put together harmonies, just dope runs, sell them, sing a scale or sing a melody, transpose it in every key, and put it out there, and you got some folks that'll buy that kit. So something to think about there that I really haven't seen a ton of people get into. And this last one here, not possible yet unless you flip it online, and I don't think this has probably been done online, but writer workshops. To me, like, nothing makes you a better learner than becoming a teacher, and offering writer workshops to younger aspiring artists. It might not bring in a ton of money from the top, but you're kind of building relationships within the community that might leverage over. My guy Hunter is a great example. Hunter Prey, I remember he built I think he did a hip hop curriculum back in Toledo at a community arts center, and I don't even know if there was any money in it at the time. But this is like 10 plus years ago. They weren't doing hip hop curriculums. This is like pre-Ninth Wonder at Harvard or whatever, and I believe that leveraged him to, they reach out to him for spoken word workshops and for other workshops and give funding for it, and he's able to develop it. So. It's something to think about, and I love that one because it really keeps you keyed into your community, and that's a huge bonus. So I think that is it. Yeah. Those are songwriter revenue streams. Now, you might be saying to yourself, yo, I didn't write down any of that, man. I'm not going to remember this. That's okay. I have a Idiot's Guide workshop resource guide. It's literally an Idiot's Guide to Anarchy, but I do have it available. It's a Google Doc. It's a living, breathing, growing document, and basically for $5, which just shoot me a message if you're interested. I pretty much just share the Google Doc with your email, and you can hop in and view it. But the cool thing is, even as you view it, it keeps growing, and it doesn't include just are we doing $9.99 now, Ryan? That's if anybody gets in after this, we'll slide it up. I'm cool. We can slide it up to $9.99. I've been building enough content in there. We'll do $5 since I said $5 for anybody here, but after today, we'll do $9.99. I'm cool with that. That sounds more official. Because it's the 99s, that's how Walmart does it. It's good enough for Walmart. It's good enough for me. And the guide doesn't just touch on like the whys. Like I'm saying, like, hey, it would be cool to do this because there's a lot of hyperlinks. There's a lot of hows. Like, how do you set up an LLC in Ohio or California? Go to these links, follow these steps, go here, then go here. So something to check out there. And that is the workshop, man. So any questions on the workshop stuff at all? Let me get rid of this text message. Okay. 969 is interesting because if you flip it upside down, it's 696, and that's pretty trippy. But, all right, so couple before we get into the beats and the exclusives, thank you all for, hopefully there was some value, you gleaned value from the workshop information. But yeah, so yeah, as I had mentioned pre-workshop, it had been a pretty wild week. Birthday celebration, getting admitted into UCSD, the ICANN program, super awesome. Shouts out as well, a couple crazy things. My song Bleach, thanks. It's funny, man, because last week, oh, that Netflix show, yes. Burial of Kojo, Kojo, by Blitz the Ambassador. I forget how to pronounce his full last name, but his artist name is Blitz the Ambassador. But just look it up. It should pop up. So I was burnt out on, oh, that's great, man. I'm glad. I was burnt out on social media. I do these every Wednesday. So last week, I've been at the computer every day working on my work, client work, social media stuff, whatever. Yeah, I feel you, Ty. Very much so. You've been killing it with the DJ, with the live stream DJing as well. So, which brings up another option right there. But yeah, so I was getting super burnt out, just on being on the computer, being on social media. I was about ready to be done, and get ready kind of for my birthday, just chill out, not do anything. And then on Friday, I started getting a barrage of messages, text tags, story tags for my song Bleach, due to government instructions to infect, disinfectant into our veins. So I was not expecting to plunge back into the depths and ethers of social media, but there I found myself in the epicenter. So thank you for everybody. I even kind of typed in a story. Bleach is such a weird song for me, because it's not like a hit as far as amassing thousands or hundreds of thousands of streams per se. It's not even like, for me, The Beautiful or Gone or Beyond, or I have certain songs that I know when I do a show, I got to perform these songs, and especially back in Cincinnati or in Ohio. Bleach is this oddity where what's up, Ariana? Bleach is this oddity where it can lie dormant for months or even years, and then something like this happens, and it's amazing because as soon as somebody, and this happens even just in regular life, when someone comes across a Bleach meme or anything, I get that tag or that text or that message that it's, here's Bleach, I thought of you. So for that I guess it worked. Thanks to everybody. I think I love that every time you see the phrase drink bleach or hear about ingesting bleach, you think of me, and y'all want to let me know that, and I actually really like it. So thank you. Another really cool project that happened this weekend, or actually on Monday, my guy Crate Digga, Kratedigga, a Columbus DJ and producer, just really all-around great dude, did this project on Monday called An Album in a Day, and I elected to be part of that. And the goal was for him to be on Instagram live streaming for 24 straight hours with a handful of musicians and vocalists, creating an album in real time. So he had the phone or the camera set up on his whole studio, and he's constantly bringing people in and out, and I was one of those people. So I got to literally put together like some piano chords in like 20 minutes, sent them to him. He made a track out of it, and I wrote a verse to it, and that'll all go on this album that should be released, this album in a day thing. So thought it was a really innovative, cool idea and project, and I'm excited to kind of hear what it, what the finished product looks like. Crate has also been really good about putting out tutorials. He's really up on game as far as audio tech for streaming and whatnot. And he's, I'm happy to have what I have, like the iRig set up and figuring out how to really get my audio sounding tight up here. But he really has gone above and beyond. So give a shout to him. Give a follow if you're interested in those things. I definitely recommend. And when venues open back up, he is one of my favorite DJs in Columbus, Ohio. Go see Crate Spin. He spins phenomenal music. He's just got a great ear. So question, how you feeling about independent artists going on live streams and having people donate? Will there be a Bleach Part 2? And how's the piano coming along this week? All right, we're trying to see if we can knock these out. So big ups to the iRig. Oh my God. And I got the cheap guitar one and was able to reverse signal flow it so I could get everything flowing through here. So if you can get the iRig 2 for guitars, you may still be able to make it work with a mixer and an interface for like $40. It's great. It should sound about like how this is sounding. But back to the question. So, oh, cool. Yep. And yours was sounding good too. So how am I feeling about independent artists going on live stream and having people donate? I'm all for it. I'm all for any artist figuring out how to, make money off of what they're doing. I'm honestly all for anybody figuring out how to make money off of what they love to do, as long as it doesn't hurt other people. Right out. I can shoot you a link. I'll let you. I actually got a video. For anyone looking to set all this up, I have a video, a little Dropbox link I took with my phone so that I would remember how I set it up. So anyone interested, just message me and I'll shoot you the link for it. But yeah, generally speaking, anybody who figures out a way to make money off of their craft that doesn't directly hinder and hurt other people, I'm never going to have a problem with that. I think it's really, really dope. I haven't even really thought about asking for donations for anything like this. I think for me, the resource doc is probably my best push for that, because it feels less like a donation. It's like, no, I don't mind doing this. Is fun. Like, I like doing this just to do it. It just feels like we're all in a room just chilling together and I get to dominate the conversation. So that's a big win for me. I'm just joking. But, yeah, man, I have no problem with anyone doing that. Bleach Part 2, I doubt it, but I did have, the show version of Bleach, when I really get to execute it right, is kind of a Bleach Part 2, especially with the bands. I have a second verse. I had a second verse that I wrote to Bleach, and I wrote it during a lot of the police killings. So it turned Bleach very political and socially, socially and racially aware. It's a really dope verse, but I never really wanted to record it. I just like to do it live, because when I do it live, people do know the song. They don't know that verse is coming, and so it's always fun to knock that in. And then also when I had the band with me, me and my guy Los on drums, we flip it over to. Yeah, I've been thinking about YouTube Live. Illogic was talking about that as well, and he hit me to some things I'm looking at. But I want to be able to multicast to all these places at some point. Have like maybe 2 phones next to each other and have Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram like all going at once, perhaps. So waiting on a chord for that, but we'll see. But anyway, Bleach. Yeah, man. So my guy Los, we go into what is it? It's a joint from the '90s. It's called "Smack My Bitch Up." Which I don't endorse the title, but it's a hell of a song, and in the context of the song, it's a great title, it's a great video. So but it's by The Prodigy, not HNIC Mobb Deep Prodigy, but the electronic group The Prodigy. It's a dope record, but we pretty much go into that, and so it turns Bleach into a very, very different record. But that was one of my big influences, so that's about as much of a sequel to Bleach as I would get. And what was how's the piano? Okay, I'm gonna have some piano updates coming up soon, I promise. But piano's going super dope. I'm currently, yep. I don't know if I feel like trying to get into it now, but no, I'm currently learning. So I've gotten to a point where every day I do my scales, major and natural minor, and I do them in order of like the circle of fifths, which none of this might make sense, but bear with me. So I do like major to relative minor scales and circle of fifths, so that helps me get the patterns down and know numbers of key signatures better, so I can kind of synthesize what I'm learning theoretically with what I'm playing. And then then I do like a deep dive study on one key. So I'll do like key of C, and I'll do like two-handed, 2-octave scales. I'll do arpeggios. Or the scales will be like parallel and contrary. I'll do thirds and sixths, which means one finger is on C, the other hand might be on A, which is the sixth to C, and I'm doing kind of those at the same time. And really it's just getting my fingers down with my hands. Yeah, you don't know I don't speak Spanish, but I'm just trying to get my fingers, like down, like don't look at them. I just know how to do it. I can just do this, and I know the terrain of the key of C. And arpeggios, chords, learning like the main chords of the key in the different cadences, and then learning a song in that key. That's like the reward. So when I really get it down, then the next role is to learn a song. So I looked up Imagine. John Lennon is in the key of C major. So I've been trying to learn Imagine for the past couple weeks, and I just recorded myself playing some of it today so that I can post it up here soon. So I'm hoping to kind of expand on all this, and hopefully in such a way that if anyone knows anyone trying to learn piano, there's like some worth and value in there. So, man, we're running a little long today. I want to get some beats in here, so I think we're pretty good. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna play a couple beats, and I got a record of the day, care of our sponsor, Beatbox Records. They're not sponsoring me, but I love Beatbox, and we're closed right now, so I got to keep the name thriving and alive. So let's see what we got here. Okay, so first joint is a beat. It's going probably on a future record for me. I got vocals already kind of fleshed out to this, but this is an interesting one. So hopefully this comes out well through the iRig. This joint is called Algorithm. Let me know if the levels are cool. I can always adjust it. Thanks, man. Not sure if that one will fully translate. The rhythm on that is super, super, super crazy. I love it. I don't know if the 808s come through all the way. But it's really 808 heavy. So if you have headphones on, you might hear it a little bit better, or running through a system. Don't know how to translate through a phone mic. But so that's kind of a more out there record. But as I said earlier, I do have this it's more hip hop font record coming up. So this joint, Ryan, you probably remember the original incarnation of this. Sean, you probably would have recognized this as well. Tribal, definitely very tribal. This joint is called Half Steppin', featuring myself, Illogic, Crooked, and my guy Reggie B on the hook. You recognize Reggie B from my song Silhouette, though he also has an amazing discography himself. So yeah, probably one of the biggest featured records I'd ever had that I just didn't put out, and it's my fault. So here we go. Acid dealer.
I found out how to end this vicious cycle. When you see a weak lyricist, go and get your rifle. Give them shots like you the sickest schizophrenic psycho, or poison them like Dr. Murray just did to Michael Jack. Tell them accidents happen. I shit in the booth, I'm a laxative rapping. Imagine the track when it's done. I'm laughing, I'm smashing you bastards for fun, and I'm more than drug trafficking, trapping and packing a gun. I pour some fuel in your asshole, call it a gas hole. Then strike a match, you'll have a blast though. Then I'ma bury your ashy ass under a grass hole. Yep, that'll be his last show. No more in PA checks, no more in Scottsdale. I had to Google the nigga on the homie Scottsdale laptop. You think you're spitting crack? Not. Next time you fucking try to rap, stop. Ain't no half stepping. Ain't no half stepping.
It's real easy, right? Look, now when you see a motherfucker flowing, know it's in my hemo motherfucking glow, and hear that motherfucking low and D on motherfucking lotion, deeper than the fucking ocean, always on some creeping on the fucking come up old school bone shit.
Somebody smoking reefer and I'm not alone.
Now, we just want a gun and hope to be the understudy spokesman of the fucking sun when it eclipses in the fucking morning. On some punk Ramones, walking with a sex pistol, test missile, eat a rapper face until his neck whistle. Fuck, it tastes like chicken but with less gristle. Make your fucking head swivel every time my lids scribble. On summer days, and I got another 100 ways to get the highs and lows up in his trunk and give it less middle. Custom made, dog.
Shit, why you cussing at your fucking
Sorry,
age?
but that evil spirit in me must be underage. Ain't no half stepping. Ain't no half stepping. Ain't no
Illogic is the Stonehenge of monuments, to say the least. No lies, so fly, hair follicles tickle angels' feet. Wingtip script, seamless legacy, fiendish weaponry, hijack destiny. Kamikaze where your dreams live. Slovenly, sloppy, carbon copy, the boarded feet is stopping me. It's like trying to find a body of Jesus. Masterfully body in English, then devour the pieces. Flow so sick to the stomach, it's leaving you squeamish. Fabricated space waster, where's the art in it? Style rocking a pacemaker, so there's no heart in it. You have never seen amazing till you seen this cattle grazing. Travel places, blazing stations, never tie my shoelaces. Keep it weightless, stay afloat. I'll play the coats and rescue players. I'm the coach, dashing your perfection, hopes, eradication, repetition is the mission. To find it, rewind it, then take a listen. That's how we spit it.
Ain't no half stepping. Ain't no half stepping. Ain't no half stepping. Ain't
Yo,
half stepping.
that's a jam right there. Oh man, sorry, I haven't listened to that one in a while. I just kind of threw it on here. I thought of it last night. I was like, man, let me play this joint. All right. So those are some exclusives there. Man, I got one more thing before I get kicked off here because we actually ended up hitting the hour mark. So, record of the day, man. I posted about this a couple months back. Doug and Jean Carn, Higher Ground. You can also find Doug Carn's Revelation on the Black Jazz label, which is a really coveted record label. And it has the song I'm about to play on it as well. One of my favorite jazz songs of all time is John Coltrane, Naima. In fact, I can go ahead and just turn this down. one of my favorite jazz songs of all time is John Coltrane, Naima. Shouts to my guy Fatal Pros. I think he's the one that really, really brought it to life for me and made me realize how much I loved it. He wrote a piece to it. But I found this version of it. Yeah, it is. I found this version of the song on this record. Jean Carn sings. Doug Carn is playing the keys on here. And it was just beautiful. She put some lyrics to it. So I figured it's a very nice, peaceful, just chill song. It'd be a nice way to close things out. So, if y'all have any questions, any thoughts, any whatever, drop them in here. If I can do it in a relaxed manner, I might try and, maybe talk through the song a little, but I kind of don't want to mess with the vibe of the song. So, here we go.
Naima, a timeless name for a timeless woman. Deep as the night, spirit of starlight, inspiration of great beauty, and love at first sight. Queen of the ages, she transcends history's pages, from beginning to the end. What a woman.
Oh, and I do have this on my Beatbox Records Spotify playlist. So peep that. Go look me up on Spotify, and you'll see the Doug Carn version. It won't look like this. It'll be black and white. It's like the first album on that playlist, though. And Naima is the track.
Another to compare.
I know it's backwards. My apologies. Yeah. Thanks to everyone popping in. We actually closing out here. I got a couple minutes before Instagram gonna kick me off. But for those that are just popping in, this is Doug and Jean Carn covering Naima by John Coltrane off the Higher Ground album. Check my Beatbox Records Spotify playlist. Give Beatbox Records a follow as well. Beatbox_records. While we closed physically, we have to live virtually. And I will be back here next Wednesday. I think we had enough people pop in. Keep this going. So next Wednesday, 5 p.m. PST, 8 p.m. EST, Eastern Standard. We'll be here getting into revenue streams for producers, playing some more unreleased and exclusives, and then playing some more fly shit like this. So yeah, thank y'all once again. Got that resource doc available. DM me. Looking how to get the audio set up right for your live stream. DM me for the link. Follow me if you haven't, but you probably already are. I don't know. Definition Music, Voice of Reason. Oh yeah, 26 seconds remaining before I get kicked off. All right, y'all. It's been a pleasure. This has been a fun one. Love ending it with this. You guys stay strong, stay healthy, Support the outs. Support the people who are out there. Buy a coffee, have it delivered. Somebody working. Peace, y'all.